Hi, I am Calliope, the Powerhouse Priestess for Entrepreneurs, and this is video 1 of my How to Create and Launch a Business series. I am going to take you step by step with how you can create your business or even restructure a current business that you have. I am going to use examples from the businesses that I run and that I'm starting, so you can really see how this advice is implemented. Our next video is going to be on how to create a business plan, and the ones following that are going to be on marketing, how to make sales, how to create offers, how to get paid, how to price, and then a whole bunch of legal stuff and just like little details. I don't know how long the series is going to be, but I am going to share with you everything I have. This video is going to be on the qualities that a successful business owner or entrepreneur needs. And it might sound like a little tough love, but you need to understand the reality of what you're going into if this is something you want to commit to. I'm not trying to sell you a dream, so I'm going to be very upfront with what you need before you even start. Now, these qualities and these points that I'm going to list next, this is all something that you can develop within yourself. You can read books, you can do research, you can work with a mentor. It's a lot of what I work on with people in my coaching business. So don't be scared if you hear this and you're like, oh, I don't know, because that's actually your starting point. Developing these qualities is the starting point before you even create the business plan. That's why it's so important to talk about them for video 1. So, the reality. Do not start a business if you want short-term gratification and just like a ton of cash thrown at you really, really fast, because that's not really how it works. Start a business if you are ready to commit to the long haul creation of this business. If you really want a foundation of income that you generate yourself, then you need to understand that this is a long-term commitment. This is a long haul project. A lot of people think they just throw out one offer and everything comes rolling in. That's actually where a lot of fear comes in. That happens if you're lucky, but the truth is it takes 2 to 3 years before you really have a sustainable income off of your own business. It can happen faster, especially with the help of a mentor. But just be open to the fact that it can take that long or longer. Now, the advice I'm giving for this particular series is really focused on service-based business rather than product-based businesses. And the reason for that is because I have a product-based business that's only 1 year old, and I don't yet feel like an expert for teaching that realm. I'm going to use it in examples, but this guidance and knowledge is really more geared towards someone who has a service. I have a coaching business, I have a tarot business, and before that I had a film production business for 6 years. So that is my area of expertise, and that's where this knowledge is coming from. Along with working with a lot of other entrepreneurs and small business owners, helping them increase their income, fix their marketing, get better at sales, and just being really confident about what their structure and vision is. So if you're ready to commit, if you're ready for this to be a long haul, dedicated, legacy building project for yourself, let's talk about the qualities of a successful entrepreneur. So a successful entrepreneur needs to be somebody who can self-evaluate. You need to be really honest with yourself. You need to really look at yourself through a lens that's not going to be so critical that you tear yourself down. It needs to be very productive. You need to be able to assess your strengths and your weaknesses and then be creative and resourceful with how you navigate those strengths and weaknesses. To be a successful entrepreneur, you need to be someone who is decisive and can follow through. Someone who is disciplined and can create a structure of productivity. An entrepreneur means you are your own boss. So you need to be able to lead yourself Be a self-leader. Get yourself to do the work every single day. You need to be able to thrive without a routine, without someone telling you what to do. I'm going to help give you the guidelines, but you need to be the one who self-leads the implementation of this guidance. Knowledge is one thing. That's why I can give this all out for free. Actually implementing it and holding yourself accountable and doing something with this knowledge, that's a whole other beast. And if you need help with that, reach out, because I am a mentor that helps people with that. Now, to be a successful entrepreneur, you also need to have strategic thinking and futuristic vision. You need to be able to plan for, years in advance, not just the next day at a time. You need to be able to pivot that strategy as well. You need to be dedicated enough to see a strategy through, but also perceptive enough to know when that strategy needs to have adjustments and have pivots. We're going to talk about more of that later in the series and tips of how you can do that and how I do that. Being an entrepreneur means facing risks, facing failure, experiencing failure, and having a really good mindset about how you move yourself through those challenging times. Are you ready to do hard things? Are you ready to put yourself out there? Are you ready to have difficult conversations? Because you need to have that inner security. You need to have that audacity, that confidence to do those things. An entrepreneur needs to have discipline and they need to have passion. Why are you doing this? What is the drive? What is the fire behind it? If you don't have passion in the beginning, how in the hell are you going to get to year 3? So passion is crucial. You need to be passionate about what you're doing. I'm wearing my Aries necklace for a reason today, because this to me represents that drive and that passion to keep moving forward, even when things are challenging, even when there's failure and blockage and failure after another. To be a successful entrepreneur, you need to wear many hats. Until you get to the point where you can delegate work and have a team, you need to be ready to be the accountant, be the marketer, be the salesperson, be the admin. You need to be ready to do all of the things and manage those well. You also have to provide the service or make the product. So it's a lot more than just being your own boss when things start off. The other quality you need to be a successful entrepreneur is emotional intelligence. You need to be able to manage your own emotions, because honestly, this is a roller coaster until you get to the phase where you're just expanding and scaling. And even that requires being able to hold faith, being able to handle the risks and the fears and the unknown. So if you are someone who gets overwhelmed really easily, or someone whose emotions really drive them and take over, you need to work on that. If that's something you need to work on, let me know, because I have a masterclass that can get you started with it. So, are you someone who can focus? Are you someone who is disciplined? Are you someone who is ready? Are you someone who has the audacity to do this? Because if you are, let's move into the vision planning. So in our next video, we will talk about creating a business plan. And in business, you need to have a plan, a strategy, and a vision. The vision comes first because it gives you the direction. The vision is what helps you even figure out what the plan or strategy is going to be. So I'm going to give you some questions that I want you to write down and journal on. Really, really flesh out these answers. Put more on the paper than you think you need to put on the paper, because then you're going to have this beautiful mound of information that you can then condense down into a clear and cohesive vision. The more things you put down, the greater chance you're going to have a unique vision and really see how your uniqueness can turn into a unique business and a unique offer. So here's the questions. Why do you want to do this? Be honest with yourself. And there's probably multiple reasons why. Write them all down. Why do you want to have your own business? What are you hoping to get out of having your own business? Is it money? Is it prestige? Do you want to save the world? Get honest with yourself. What do you want to get out of this? It will help you later structure the business. Now, imagine if you were to start right now, how do you want this to look in 3 months? How do you want it to look in 9 months? How about 2-year mark? 5-year? 10-year? Flesh out each vision. And you can go really big with it, especially the one that's really in the future, because this is going to help you create the direction of your business. So go big with imagining this. Now, what kind of life structure do you want? What's going to work with you? How many hours do you want to work? What kind of lifestyle do you want? This is important. This will play into your business plan later. So get honest with yourself. Now, what are your skills, talents, and passions? What lights you up? What are you really good at? What comes naturally to you? Write all of this down. Even the ones that maybe don't necessarily fit a business idea that you're already thinking about. What experience do you have? What have you done in your life? Now, really, really think about the things that do not even involve your business. What experience is on your table? Write all of that down. It will be so relevant later. Now, what experience and knowledge do you want to have? What do you want to get? Are there certifications out there? Is there a skill you want to learn? Is there something that your intuition has just been like, do that, do that? Write that down as well. What do you value? What is important to you? What are your true values? What do you prioritize in your life? Write that down as well. That is going to feed into who your ideal client is, which will be a whole other video. What does the world need? Look around. What does the world need? Really, your perspective of it. What problems does the world need solved, or what does the world need added to it that it doesn't have already? How can you be of service to people? What problems can you solve? What value do you like to give people or could give people? Now, this one might be the most important, so really flesh this out. What does success look like to you? What does success for a business look like to you? This kind of fits in with the 3-month, 5-year, 10-year thing, but just flesh it out a little more. What does success mean to you? And lastly, what do you think your purpose is? I recommend pulling tarot cards for that one because you'll get a really interesting answer. And if you want a session on that, book me, because I love to do tarot readings on purpose and what you can offer the world. All right, so now that you have all of those questions written down, that's your homework. Your homework is to review these, reflect on these, and write them down. I want to give you some real examples of how those questions have turned into businesses for me. So, Powerhouse Priestess. Hello. Powerhouse Priestess provides spiritual tools and strategy for people who want to start a business or already have a business that they've established. So how did I get to that point? Well, I asked myself, what am I passionate about? I am so passionate about creating businesses. I am so good at strategic planning. I am excellent at reading cards in a way that creates plans. I also have certifications in yoga and Reiki healing, so I have this unique element that I can add in where I can help people overcome fears and clear their energy and connect to faith, because all of that is really necessary to be a successful entrepreneur. My experience, I ran a film business for 6 years before I started the tarot business, before I started the Powerhouse Priestess coaching business. So all of those elements, all of my passions came together to create right here. this video. I'm passionate about helping people solve those problems. So many people say they don't want to be an employee and have a good business idea, but there's too many fears in the way, or they just don't understand the necessary, or I mean like the practical steps to make it happen. So that's the problem I solve. That's the role that I play, using my expertise, my skills, my knowledge, and my uniqueness. So I have another business called Live Love Magic, and it is a jewelry boutique. So this one's only a year old, but something I am really good at, is thrifting and finding used goods through a variety of ways. Like, I'm such a good treasure hunter. And I didn't want to just keep adding things to my own treasure box. I started realizing, like, how cool would it be if I could actually make profit off of something I'm good at? And I also have that Reiki certification, so I could cleanse the jewelry energetically. And then a skill I needed to add on was, how do you clean jewelry? How do you clean trinkets? So put all that together, and I created a jewelry boutique with it. Oh, and then the passion behind that, or the problem I want to solve behind that. It's not really a problem, but I fundamentally think it's really wonderful when we can put on jewelry that invokes our inner goddess or has an intention behind it. I wore this Aries necklace today to represent drive and power. And I'm wearing these crystal earrings that have Herkimer diamond because, one, I feel like a goddess in them, and two, I wanted the strength of the Herkimer diamond. So I put all of those together and created the jewelry boutique. Now, my other business, the one I'm creating right now, this is the first time I am announcing it to the public, is the Hollywood Witch, a party event service where I go to parties dressed in costume and read tarot as an entertainment service. Now, how I came up with that idea. My background. I used to do performance art and theater. I love to play a character. I love to dress up. 2, I am a freaking excellent tarot reader. And I wanted to expand the tarot just beyond this business, where it's like for practical advice and faith and blah, blah, blah. I wanted to move it over into the realm of, like, what is that tarot experience of being awed by someone who can read your mind in a really fun way. So I wanted to, like, pump that up more and put that into its own business. Because in this business, I read your cards and it's more about, like, delivering you the message, getting you all the information you need. And for the Hollywood Witch business, it's going to be more about the process and the experience, and just turning it into this whole thing where it's not necessarily as important what the info is, and it's more about the connection we're creating, the memory we're creating. So another way I came up with this business idea, I think if you're going to throw a party, you should, one, have an icebreaker. And it's so great if everyone just got a tarot reading and could go talk about it, which I've done. I've read for events, and when someone walks out of the room, they go into the room of other people and they have a story to tell. They have something to talk about. They have an icebreaker. And then 2, if you're gonna throw a party, you might as well make it an unforgettable night. And how can you, the best way I think someone can do that is having an entertainer, especially one that is in full costume and that's interacting with the guests and just giving them this really unique experience. So that's how I came up with Hollywood Witch. I put my passions together, I put my skills together, I put my fundamental, like, what does the world need together? And notice how I answered that question of what does the world need? Because technically, I can give a lot of answers to what the world needs. The world needs a lot. But it doesn't always have to be serious answers. It can be fun, lighthearted stuff. Hey, I think the world needs a great icebreaker for your party. I think the world needs a fun entertainment service at your party. You can use your own answers, and get creative with how you put this together. So, start putting your vision together, darling, because in our next video, I'm going to help you turn that into your business plan. If you're loving this so far, please let me know in the comments or share this video, because let's share the love.